What are orbs? Orbs have fascinated people for many years, and people wonder what or who they are. In this video, I'm going to share with you the many different types of orbs, and it's going to blow your mind. Hi beautiful beings, I'm Carol Rathel, occupational therapist, metaphysical minister. I help people on their spiritual awakening journey. Tune into their inner wisdom and lead empowered lives. Orbs have been appearing in photographs for many years, as long as we have been able to take photographs, and they were frequently dismissed as specks of fluff or light reflections bouncing off the camera lens. There were these things happening, but we know much more about orbs now, and they have commonly got a certain structure and appearance that shows the difference between an orb and light reflecting on a lens. Let's first take a look at the structure of the orbs so you know the difference between a speck of fluff or light and an orb, and then I will go on to talk about who or what these orbs might be. In this image here, you can see there are rings of light within the orb. It is usual to see these faint rings within an orb, and for it to be fairly consistent throughout the entire circle. You can also see there is a sort of pattern close into the center, much like a mandala. In this image, you can see the mandala type of formation, along with the colors that appear within an orb. These include all the colors of the rainbow, although these don't often show up in photographs or videos unless you can zoom right in. This orb is from the cover of the Orb Project, a book written by Mikhail Ledwith and Klaus Heinemann. A personal story here. In October 2019, I underwent a massive surgery in which there was a large area of me cut by the surgeon from my side, through my ribs, past a collapsed lung to my heart. The first night after the surgery, I was in so much pain I was unable to sleep, and because every breath was a struggle and it was painful. I was between life and death as my body tried to get enough oxygen, because I could only expand my chest a tiny bit and there was fluid in my lung. So I hovered there in that zone, consciousness and unconsciousness, and I began to see orbs in the hospital room. I saw the orbs as beautiful coloured mandalas, looking a bit like this one. This one is the closest image I have seen that looks like what I saw. If you imagine seeing it square on, you can see the intricate and beautiful portioning of colour and the energy within it. I felt only love from these orbs, and I felt comforted by their presence. Their presence there in that hospital room helped me get through that first night, as if they were helping me to breathe. So orbs show up as a circle that appears to have concentric rings within it of light, maybe with that faint mandala pattern. Fluff and light reflections have a completely different appearance. They may be light on the outside and dark in the centre, or they could be a scruffy looking mess when you zoom in on a piece of fluff or a speck of dust on the lens. So far I've talked about orbs shown up in photos, but let's look at orbs that appear in videos. This first orb appears over the shoulder of Phil Good, and the link is below if you want to go and have a better look at the video. I didn't get the timestamp for this one, sorry, but I think it was fairly early on. So let's have a look. There it goes. You see the orb moved very fast. Orbs often appear in Phil Good's videos because he is very skilled at moving energy around. So you might see him do a flick of his fingers and out pops a light. He also channels, and sometimes I see the orbs popping in and out of his third eye as he shifts from topic to topic. Unfortunately, the best videos I've seen of his appear to have been taken down. However, at 26 seconds into this video, Phil actually sees the orb. Here we go. I highly recommend Phil Good's videos. He has a unique and clear way of expressing himself as he is passing on his messages from higher beings, and currently he's working with the Arcturians. This next video from Sending Ravens by Tarot by Janine, and the link for this is also below. The orb appears to Janine's right and flies past the curtain. There it goes. I zoomed in closer and you can see it appears as a circular shape. Orbs are spherical in reality, but they appear as flat discs on our photographs and videos. So what are orbs? Orbs are many things, and prepare to have your mind blown as we go through what they can be. To start with, orbs can be thought forms. Every time we have a thought, and especially a repeating thought pattern, we send the energy of our thought into the soup of energy that surrounds us and dwells within us in many different dimensions. Any person who is in a vibrational match with the thought you send out can pick up that thought and believe it might be their own. But really it's a passing thought that matches the frequency they were putting out in that moment, and the thought drops into their awareness. This happens a lot more than people realize, and it's important to be aware if you have a thought that doesn't feel right to you, that doesn't feel like it belongs to you, just go within, use your inner wisdom and say, is this thought mine? And if you don't feel it is, just release it. If you like it, then you can explore it more, of course. An orb can also be a packet of information being sent to you by your guides or beings that are helping you with a certain project. This happens to me a lot, especially during meditation. I might be working on a project and have some things that I can't figure out myself straight away. When I meditate, I suddenly get the answer, and it comes into my mind in a whole package that has all the information I need to proceed through that particular challenge. We call these downloads. So these packages can appear as a ball of energy, waiting for your mind to be open to receive it, at which point it gets dropped in. This image is what a thought with all the answers could look like. And if you look closer, you can see the little circles within this orb. This can resemble the pieces of information that form the complete answer, waiting to be unpacked. Orbs can also be curious new souls learning about life on Earth before they incarnate here for their first time. They can also be souls who come to visit their future parents when they choose particular people to be their parents for when they have their next incarnation. Another personal story. I was engaged in an art project and I had a sudden awareness there was this beautiful scent in my room. It was something I'd never smelt before. I saw a flicker of light as well, and I realized I had company. I turned to where I thought the being might be, and then there was this sudden feeling of anxiety, and it was gone. I was alone. Turns out from a conversation I had with my son 2 days later that around that same time he had been having a dream and had this beautiful scent come to him in the dream. At the time he was on a ship bound for China. His partner, who rang him, had been driving her car, and she had a sudden vision of a little girl, very young, interacting with my son after her bath. When we compared notes, we realized that we must have had these experiences around the same time, and my son and his partner knew that this soul was going to be their future daughter. It was an incredible experience. Upon learning this, I realized that when the soul was visiting me, who was going to be her future grandma, she got surprised that I could see her, and I think this gave her a small fright, and that's why she zipped out of appearance. Orbs can be souls or consciousnesses from different dimensions. At City Ranch in Washington, James Gilliland has events where people come to see light ships, discuss or teach spiritual things to people in conventions, and they experience the non-physical beings that gather there. The more the beings are welcomed by his visitors, the more they come. City Ranch has become a high energy zone with many, many beings visiting there. This image was taken with a camera designed to see into the non-physical range of light. Orbs can also be beings from our dimension or a higher dimension, traveling their consciousness in their Merkaba body, which will ultimately appear as an orb. If you look at this image, you can see it's actually a sphere shape. You can also just see a faint being inside the orb, appearing as though they're sitting down. On the outer edge of the orb appear to be where a Merkaba body would spin and the corners of a pyramid would touch the outer edge. Okay, you're asking me what is a Merkaba? Here is an image of a Merkaba. There are two pyramid shapes that intersect in the middle. One of these pyramids spins clockwise, the other spins anti-clockwise. It's the geometry of our energy body. The Merkaba shape is a form that beings often use to send their awareness to a particular location. It is their preferred vehicle of choice because it is their energy body. I hope this video helps you to be able to recognize orbs and that your mind has been completely opened to the whole range of beings or energies they can be. There are some I've left out because we could go on for an hour. Now that you are aware and you can recognize them, the chances are that you'll begin to see them more and more often. I hope you do. Please subscribe so you get notified of more videos on this subject, and like so that YouTube will share this out. I look forward to seeing you, and I will be waiting for you in the next video. Bye for now.